In this video, we are going to talk about Bob Chapek possibly getting a little help from former Fox executive Peter Rice. We're going to talk about it right now. Welcome aboard, everybody, to this Orange Nerd Quickie. Usually, OrangeNerd is a fantastic show that I do periodically in regards to film, streaming, nerd culture. Today, though, I just wanted to kind of do a quick little OrangeNerd video, not our typical hour that we usually dive into. So I have some really crazy news to talk to you guys about today. Okay, it's regarding all this corporate drama in regards to Bob Chapek. Now, it's been no secret for for anybody following Disney for the past few months that Chapek has, love him or hate him, there's no denying there's been some issues with Chapek and Hollywood, right? And I don't know how credible this particular website is. It's called smallscreen.co.uk. I think it is based in the UK. And they have a source that's telling them that former executive Peter Rice is actually going to be stepping in to kind of help Chapek kind of navigate the Hollywood waters, so to speak. It says here, is Disney already lining up Bob Chapek's replacement? All right, so it says here, we've been informed by sources with close ties to Disney that Bob Chapek might be getting some help in the form of Peter Rice. All right, it says here, quote, I'm hearing word of a new head being brought in to help him, Chapek. Remember the name Peter Rice. It says here, quote, it looks like Rice is going to be brought in to help Chapek by handling some of the day-to-day management of certain areas within the company. It also sounds like he could end up managing much of Disney's operations in Europe and might even start handling talent directly rather than Chapek. Now, this is interesting. Like I said before, the caveat, I don't know the validity of this website. This is the first time I've seen them. But the reason why I'm doing a video on this is because the rumor makes sense. It makes sense. Look, like I said, Chapek has had a lot of issues with talent and Hollywood in general. Number one, the elephant in the room is ScarJo, the ScarJo lawsuit. Personally, I think ScarJo was out of pocket. We found out yesterday that her team was asking for $100 million from Disney. So I think that was part of the problem with them not coming to a deal. But even aside from that, it should have never gotten to the stages of a lawsuit and gone public. Okay, it should have never have gotten that far. Chapek should have nipped that in the bud, and he didn't. That was a failure on Chapek's part. Regardless whether you side with ScarJo or Chapek, Chapek could have handled it better, right? And there's just an overall tone. You see it a lot in the Hollywood trades with Variety, Hollywood Reporter, The Wrap. Chapek doesn't come from a Hollywood studio background, and there's this kind of tone with the Hollywood in general and the trades of like, Chapek, you can't sit with us. You're not part of our little bubble. Just kind of stay over there, please. You know, there is that kind of general sense. Well, Peter Rice, if they brought Peter Rice in to be kind of Chapek's number two, to kind of handle the Hollywood side of things, to handle the talent, it would be a huge benefit, I think, to Disney. I think that would kind of quell a lot of the anxiety that the Hollywood establishment has with Chapek. To have someone like Peter Rice in there kind of steering the ship, at least on the Hollywood-facing, businesses for Disney. And plus, I think that would be something that Chapek himself would even want. I don't think, look, Chapek is not a Hollywood guy. He just isn't. He's not a smoozer. He's not on the red carpet. I really get the vibe he doesn't like that whole scene. And to have Peter Rice sort of step in, handle talent, do the red carpet thing, kind of all that for Chapek, I can see Chapek really kind of like getting on board with something like that. Have Peter Rice do that Hollywood thing for you and do it much more effective? Absolutely. So again, this is just a rumor, but it's a rumor that makes a lot of sense to the point where it's almost like, yeah, that could work. And I wouldn't be surprised if Disney is looking into something like this with Peter Rice. Peter Rice is a huge talent in Hollywood. And he is a big factor in the Fox acquisition. He was one of the figures in that deal that Disney really, really wanted. He was probably on the short list for the CEO position. So it would not surprise me if this is true. So again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know this website. Okay. I don't know the validity and how accurate they are, but the rumor seems to make sense. It seems to be something that Disney would be interested in doing given the current circumstances with ScarJo, with the Russo brothers. They need someone to sort of turn the temperature down, to sort of ease the anxiety in Hollywood. And Peter Rice would be a good pick for that role. So I don't know, y'all. It sounds like this might be happening, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. But I do have the link below, so please click on it and read the article for yourself. It's pretty interesting. But what do you guys think about Peter Rice coming in to have more of an active role at Disney, kind of be Chapek's number 2 to kind of deal with the Hollywood-facing businesses at Disney? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? What are your thoughts? Do you think Chapek needs the help? I think a lot of people probably would say yes, but what are your thoughts on that? I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you all for watching this little Orange Nerd Quickie as we talk about nerd culture, the film world, the streaming world, and Hollywood. I would love to hear your comments below in regards to everything we talked about today. And as always, have a nerdy day.